Okay, I wanted to show you if we can catch it on the camera. I sanded this far already. See how nice and smooth and equal grain that is? And then this is about where I stopped. And I wanted to show you the difference. With a little sanding and a little preparation will get you. It's a little coarse. You could feel the pores. But I want to show you how just a little sanding smooths out some grain. And I just spent about 20 seconds with a sand block. And if we zoom in on it, you see how that grain is, it looks a little dull. I sanded it down, got rid of that strong grain, and it closed up the pores, smoothed it all out. But when you put the stained poly on there, it's gonna brighten up and look beautiful. That grain will come up and magnify, but you don't see the pores. And that's what the preparation and the sanding gets you. I mean, it does. There, you could see it. You could see the pores wide open. Now, these have been in the house, out of the weather and all that, for about 3 days. And just brought it outside to do the sanding and do the stain on it. And you see where I stopped, right about there. I'm going to do a little more on here. I'm going to do this whole stick. I have 2 more sticks to go. And preparation is everything, guys. I think it just looks better when you spend the extra time and close those pores. And the real natural grain will show up and magnify with that polyurethane. So let me keep working, and we're going to go on to the review for the Minwax stain and poly. Here's another prime example of why I spend the time on sanding before I stain. I've worked my way down here, and I wanted to show you guys the difference. Here's how you get it out of the lumber yard. Okay, and let's see if you can see where I stopped sanding. There's a real tough grain on here, real coarse. See those black lines, dark lines? I'm not going to get that out of there. But sanding will smooth it out. And I've worked my way to about here. See those splinters? A little sandpaper will take that right off. But I wanted to show you where I stopped sanding and where I haven't sanded. And I wanted to show you the before and after. Now, I left those splinters on there so you can see a difference. And if I work my way down to where I stopped sanding, you'll see the difference. But when you put the stain and poly on there, those subtle grains will magnify. It'll look beautiful, but it just smooths it all out and evens it up, and it really makes a Class A job. I know this is beginner stuff, but this is some stuff that people just don't take the time to do. I know plenty of people that wouldn't even think of sanding this stuff because it's just quarter round, they say. But I spend the extra little time, and that's why things take long for me. But it makes me feel better. I'll take the sandpaper and I'll get that splinter off and keep finishing. I'll sand this whole piece, and I have 1 more to go. And then we'll get into that Minwax.